again to another great episode of the Bronco and the Pig. We're almost to July. As always, we record on Thursday, we upload it on Friday. So as of right now, it is June 27th. It is the evening time, so there's been quite a bit that has actually happened today, and then even more from this past week. I was just talking to you about, Delaney,
Hmm.
that it's been an eventful week. There's been a lot of stuff that have just happened in a course of 7 days, which is great for us because it makes it easy to find things to talk about and enjoyable to talk about. But how do you feel as though this week has gone within sports and just like in general?
I think it's been really exciting. We're kind of going to go into this like later in the episode, but I feel like this past week you've seen a lot of athletes kind of doing stuff a little out of the box, like doing stuff that doesn't normally fit their realm.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to talk about like the athletes on the field, but also off the field.
yeah, and that's a great point because it is June 27th, so July is Monday.
Hmm.
Monday is July 1st. So we're right there. It's right around the corner, and baseball is in full swing. You have the All-Star game here in a few weeks. 2024 is special because we have the Olympics. The
Yep.
Olympics start July 24th, I believe. So we're less than a month away of the Olympics, which is awesome. Football season is only 2 months away, so I've already started to get fantasy football going a little bit, getting that organized. And then there's a lot of soccer on right now. There's the Euros, which is the international tournament between all the European countries, and then there's Copa America. USA just played a couple hours ago. Unfortunately, they did lose, so they're not eliminated, but they did lose, and they gotta win next on. I think they play on Monday. They gotta win to make it. So there's just a lot going on in sports. And today was the NBA draft. Every sport has stuff going on. Football, basketball, obviously baseball. There's obscure sports with the Olympics. Hockey finished last week, and now soccer is kind of taking over the TV at this point because of the Euros and the Copa America. So there's just a lot to unpack and a lot of cool stories. And as always, we start every episode off with our 5 favorite stories of the week. So why don't you start with your story?
Okay.
Originally, this was our 5th story, but you bring up a good point. There's a lot of athletes doing stuff off off the field. It is their off season, but there is no athlete in the world that is bigger than Mr. Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey, the two brothers, and their wives and girlfriends. So why don't you go with the first story?
Okay, so in this past week, Taylor Swift had, I believe it was 3 shows in London. So she's doing her leg in Europe and all that stuff. On the third night of her London show, she was on stage performing, doing her thing, and all of a sudden, Travis Kelsey is on stage with her dancing. He like picks her up. I think this is probably one of the most iconic moments in history. I can't wait till 20 years down the line when I'm telling my kids about when Taylor Swift brought Travis Kelsey on stage. But another thing I thought that was so interesting is there were so many celebrities there. I know the whole Kelsey family was there. There was like Paul McCartney was there, Greta Gerwin. I don't know if it was the same show as when Travis came out, but the whole royal family was there at one show. And I saw a video, and I think this was my favorite part. Someone got a video of when Travis Kelsey came back to his like booth after being on stage, and everyone was just in there like hyping him up and
Yeah,
like giving him high fives.
it's incredible because I know that Travis Kelsey and NFL fans, they give like the Swifties or whatever, they
Hmm.
give them a lot of crap, and there's like this like weird war between NFL fans and the Swifties. There's like this
Yeah.
weird like who's better, who's more famous, what's like, who cares? I mean, like the NFL gained like millions
Millions.
and millions of dollars and viewers and fans and jersey sales and like all this stuff. Taylor Swift and the Swifties gained millions and millions of
Yeah.
followers and viewers, and it doesn't matter what side you're on. They're both so big. It is
Hmm.
so big now that it's like they are the most famous couple in the world. There's
Absolutely.
no doubt about it. Everybody loves Taylor Swift. Everybody loves Travis Kelsey. Everybody loves them together. They love their music. They love him on the field, him off the field. And to make it better, his brother is probably better than he is. Jason is way cooler and way more fun to watch and like hang out with. But it's just this. It's turned into this crazy story and like love story kind of
Hmm.
sports and music and this beautiful connection, and it's insane. It's insane to me how it's taken over. So my question is, because this is a
Hmm.
sports podcast, we talk about
Yeah.
sports. Now we love drama, we love celebrities, we love that stuff. But sports related, how do you think all the off field stuff?
Hmm.
Because Travis Kelsey, we just said it, he's probably the most famous man in the world right now. How do you think it's going to affect him come time for football? The Troy
I
Bolton
mean,
effect. I call it the Troy Bolton effect.
yeah. I mean, for me, I just can't imagine it affecting him a lot. I know that, say he has a bad game, which is gonna happen, all these people are gonna blame it on his relationship and all this stuff. But I think as a player in the NFL, you almost need to prepare yourself for that pressure. So I think he'll be just fine. He'll do his thing, Taylor will do her thing. We'll see them at the games together. I can't imagine it truly affecting the season overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's waiting to see like what
Hmm.
happens because this is now Travis and Taylor. They were dating during the season last year, and then obviously during the Super Bowl run, and they won the Super Bowl and all that stuff. But having a full off season
Hmm.
together, and then him being on tour with her, him doing all these special things, being on stage, and he does a lot of podcasts and the plane, the travel. It's a lot. It's taxing. I can see it definitely affecting his body because he is on the older side for a football player. I think everyone's just kind of sitting and waiting
Yeah.
to give Travis Kelsey some credit. The Chiefs are the favorite to win the Super Bowl once again. He still has Patrick Mahomes, so I don't think that part of his game is going to be that bad or that affected. I guess I am genuinely curious to see because at this point, I think Travis is a Hall of Famer, which is a pretty big feat. But I mean, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not in good shape because he's been doing all this extra stuff. He gets injured. There's a lot of possibilities here. So, I what I guess what's your final say as to where you're at with Travis Kelsey going into the season because he is the biggest tight end. He's the most best and most famous tight end ever.
One thing I will say is I could imagine other players on the teams they're playing against kind of like going after him a little extra because he's this big hot shot now and he's this A-list celebrity and everyone knows who he is and loves him. I could see players kind of giving him a little extra roughness a
A
little
little
bit.
extra love.
But I honestly I believe he will be just fine. I truly think that. And but it'll be curious to see how the season plays out.
Yeah, and like I said, the football season we're 2 months away from the first week. Obviously, training camp is going on, and then preseason will happen here soon. So it's coming, it's coming, and then
Hmm.
college football's right around the corner as well. So there's a lot coming up as we continue on in the summer. But yeah, the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey, the saga has continued. This
Yeah.
time across the pond over in London, and it took over social media. But I also want to I want to throw in a couple other names because you mentioned off the field stuff. Mr. Joe Burrow, the famous
Hmm.
quarterback, and then Justin Jefferson, who's probably the best wide receiver in the league right now. They were seen also across the pond,
Yeah.
walking in the Vogue fashion show, the Vogue
Hmm.
World Fashion Show. So let's dive into this a little bit now, because those are two more monster players. Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Now seen doing stuff just like Travis is. Now this is a little different because it's not as much pressure. It's kind of more of an event that they did, and I think they were just they were approached and it was an opportunity to do something cool. But I don't know, like, obviously you want these guys to have normal lives and have do stuff outside of football, but they're worth millions and millions of dollars. There's
Yeah.
people all over the place that are cheering them on and depending on them. There's a lot of pressure on them. So what are your thoughts on doing things in your off season? It is your time off, I get it,
Hmm.
but some would argue there needs to be some sort of, like, hey, you're committed to this team and you should be
Yeah.
putting, it's your job, you're paid to do it no matter what time of year it is.
I mean, for me, I love to see it. And I want to see it more, actually. Um and I think these guys that like the NFL athletes, they're walking the show, they do a little dance on stage. I personally think it's harmless. Like you said, it is their off season. Like it's not like we're gonna see that stuff when they're in the middle of the season. So I think this is their time to kind of market themselves and do cool things. And so I think it's exciting, and I like to see everyone doing it.
Yeah, I don't have anything against you on that.
Hmm.
Football's only a part of life, and these guys definitely deserve to do other stuff and get involved in other stuff. But we will see how they perform.
Yeah.
But that is definitely the biggest story of the week, is the Travis Kelsey and the Taylor Swift drama. Now, 2024, we are officially halfway through. So as of Sunday, we will officially be halfway through the year, 6 months through the year. And there have been a lot of champions that have been crowned. Now, in the fiscal year, there's a lot of champions at the beginning of the beginning of the year because their seasons were actually in 2023, like football,
Hmm.
go with college and pro and NBA and all that. They all started in 2023, rolling into 2024. So when you look at the year 2024, the fiscal year of 2024, we have several champions that have already been crowned. Okay, you have um, in college football, you have Michigan, the Wolverines. In the NFL, you obviously have the Chiefs. In March Madness, both men's and women's was UConn and South Carolina. Last week, the NBA champion was the Boston Celtics. The Masters champion was Scotty Scheffler, and this week we had some more champions. The NHL champions, Florida Panthers. Congratulations to them, and the College Baseball World Series champions, the Tennessee Volunteers. Another
Hmm.
congratulations to them. The reason I bring this up, and this is our second story of the week, is 2024 has been the year of the favorite. I've called it the year of the favorite because champions I just named were the favorite going into the playoffs. Okay, Michigan was by far the best team. You look at the South Carolina women's team in March Madness; they were undefeated and the number one seed. The Chiefs repeated. The Yukon Huskies were the number one team. You can go one after another, after another, after another. They are all the favorite. So, as a betting man, and to all those
Hmm.
betting listeners out there, one would think let's bet on the favorite this year. So let's look at some favorites, okay? And I'm
Yeah.
curious what you think. If we will have one outlier, if this is just a early of the year trend, or if this will remain the same. I mentioned it at the beginning. The soccer has taken over. So the Euros is going on right now. Based on the favorites, you're looking at France and England, who both moved on. They're both still alive in the tournament. So they both moved on. So France and England will be your favorites. USA lost today. Copa America is going on. The favorites would be Argentina and Brazil, who are both doing well in the tournament. Also, you can go into F1 racing. There's many big races that are coming up with Max Verstappen as the favorite. Obviously, he's the top guy. You go to tennis. Wimbledon
Hmm.
starts July 2nd, I believe. Wimbledon is the kickoff. Your favorite is Novak Djokovic, the best tennis player in the world. He would be the favorite. The Little League
Yeah.
World Series comes in late July. Now, obviously, we don't know who the teams are and we don't know who the favorite is, but one would think the favorite would might be in line to win. And then obviously the Olympics comes late July
Hmm.
as well. People like
Yeah.
Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky. I don't know if Usain Bolt is running, but he's got to be a favorite. And then obviously USA in basketball and other sports. USA always seems to be the favorite. So, and last but not least, MLB in October, the favorites are the Dodgers and the Yankees, both in first place, both with great records, both with great teams. So, my question to you is, do you think there will be an outlier? Do you think there will be some sort of underdog that comes in and swoops it away, or is 2024 the truly the year of the favorite? Because I just listed them all.
I think I would like to see a underdog come in and like just get people talking. After a while, when all these favorites s- continue to win, it it makes it a little less interesting. So I personally think that there will be an outlier.
I agree. I think there will be one. I
Yeah.
think could come in soccer because soccer can be a little unpredictable at times, especially in these major tournaments. You
Hmm.
get a team that gets lucky and then they go into penalty kicks, and then when it's penalty kicks it could be anybody's game. I think that's a big one. I don't know enough about F1 racing to be able to say Max Verstappen
Yeah.
won't win it because I don't know enough. And then same kind of with tennis. Novak Djokovic seems to be the stud of the group, just dominant. But I don't know enough to say. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be one of the soccer tournaments, either Euros or Copa America. It could be the European Championship, the Euros. I don't know if France or England will win it because you got other good teams in there like Spain and Italy and Germany, teams like that.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see something happen with the Olympics because I feel like because there's so many competitions in such a short period of time, some of these favorites and these top athletes, they could crumble. They could
Well,
have an off day
yeah,
or hurt themselves. So I could see it happening
I mean,
in
you
the
bring up you bring up a good
Summer
point because
Olympics
the
coming up.
Olympics is it's interesting because it's technically a team event, right? You're trying to win as many medals for your country
Hmm.
as possible, and then the country with the most medals is the winner, right? So everyone assumes, oh,
Yeah.
USA, China, England, France, the big ones, Germany, uh, with, and we're gonna dive more into the Olympics uh, in a minute, but you're right because the Olympics is also very individual. A single person, you know,
Hmm.
there's a famous comedy sketch by Jerry Seinfeld where he talks about the Olympics and he says the difference between first, second, and third is like minuscule. It's so close because these athletes are
Hmm.
so gifted, so talented, and it's like first, second, third. It's like right one, two, three. They're all very close in time. They're very close in length and inches and seconds. I
Hmm.
agree. The Olympics, there could be some underdogs that go there. The big ones are like Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky. They seem to be the two biggest names going into this. Everyone's like, "Oh, Simone Biles, it's her." It's her event to lose, the Olympics,
Yeah.
or gymnastics. And then Katie Ledecky is supposedly dominant in swimming, just dominant, Michael Phelps esque. So
Yeah.
yeah, but when it comes to the other sports, I couldn't tell you who the favorites are. I don't know. So sure, a
Hmm.
favorite could lose here and there, but is it like a ground breaking favorite? Did Simone Biles lose? Did Usain Bolt lose? Did Katie
Yeah.
Ledecky lose? Did USA basketball, did they lose? It's those big ones where you're like, oh dang, a dog took them down. An underdog took them down. The other one is baseball. When it comes to underdogs, everyone talks about it. Playoff baseball, it could be anybody. There's no say. Who knows? The Dodgers could
Hmm.
lose to the worst team in the league. That's just baseball. It's so unpredictable. It's so hard
Yeah.
to win a championship. So, yeah, 2024, you're the favorite, and that's our second story of the episode. And we're gonna move into our third story, and it is the Olympics. We're going to talk about the Olympics, and I want you to compare the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics for me because they're very different.
Okay.
They're very similar, but they're also very different,
Hmm.
I should say. I have my beliefs, but I want you to start. So tell me some things about each that you like and dislike about one or the other, or how they compare with each other.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like Summer Olympics kind of gets more buzz around it. From my perspective, I feel like people enjoy the events better and tend to talk about it. Like we know a lot of these top athletes in the Summer Olympics, where with the Winter Olympics, I don't know if I can name one. I do love certain events in the Winter Olympics though, but I think overall, I maybe it's just because I like can relate to it a little more maybe, but I think Summer Olympics is my favorite and I just think it's more
And that's an
popular
interesting point,
overall.
and that's where I was kind of headed. Is I think the
Mhm.
summer is more relatable because that's a USA thing. That's a USA
Yeah.
dominates the summer. They track and field, swimming, diving, water polo, basketball, summer sports. USA dominates, and they're by far the favorite.
Mhm.
Gymnastics. You know, the Summer Olympics is a USA thing, which is why we like summer better because USA is good and we want to cheer for our country.
Yeah.
We enjoy watching it a little more. Oh, look, the American just broke the world record for the swimming or whatever it is. Oh, look, Simone Biles
Mhm.
dominated again. It's these little things where it's like, oh, okay, like summer America. What I will say
Yeah.
is the winter, in my opinion, is more fun to watch because
Mm.
America is not very good. I think it's more fun to watch for the winter because one, you see a more level playing field. You see like people from all sorts of
Mhm.
countries, Canada, Russia, Sweden. These winter sport athletes that come out, China, for example, uh, who winter sports is a big thing in their country. Canada. No offense to
Yeah.
Canada, but in the Summer Olympics, they are not very good. In the Winter Olympics, they dominate. They're
No.
great, but that's their thing.
Yeah.
The reason I like the winter better, and I'm gonna watch the summer. Like that's just it's the Olympics. You have to watch it. But the reason I like the winter better is because I just it's fun to be like, oh, like the American took down the German guy in ice skating, speed skating, or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
you have a little bit more to cheer for. It's a lot closer. The athletes are a lot at a higher level from different countries, things like that. Does that make sense? Like that,
Mhm.
I think that's why
Yeah. Yeah.
I like summer better because we're better at it, but I like winter better because it's more
Mhm.
fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even like think about the fact that we are not like the United States is
I
not a
mean,
winter
there's parts of
sport
the United States that's like
in general.
Colorado and like up north in Michigan and things
Mhm.
like that. But when you think about hockey or you think about skiing or
Yeah.
uh, ice skating, curling, things like that, America's not your oh they're dominant. It's Canada, it's Sweden, it's Norway, it's Russia, it's these Germany, these countries that like they live in the snow. That's they're big time snow countries. Like that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all they
So,
do, honestly,
but
over there.
going into we do have the Summer Olympics. It is July 24th to August 11th. Um, Other than the U.S., because we just talked about it, the U.S. dominates. Are there any countries that you think could be top of the line? Could compete with them? You,
Oh, oh, honestly, I have no idea. It's hard because we're in the United States. All of our stuff is like all the content I get is kind of like
yeah,
what's the word, like
it's very
censored a little
American.
bit.
Yeah,
It's very biased. So I honestly have never even thought about that. I
yeah,
know China's really good. Um, Russia, I would say like any of the bigger
yeah.
countries. Like when you watch the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, there are
Oh,
hundreds
there's
that
so
I've
many
never even
countries
heard
like
of.
you have no idea. And one of the cool things about the opening
Yeah.
ceremonies is like when they do the parade where the countries come out and it's like Georgia and you're like Georgia, that's a state. And then there's like one dude that's like he's like one guy that's running in track. It's like what?
I
That's
know.
crazy. It's like it's cool, but it's like that's what makes the Olympics
Yeah.
so like unlike anything else. There's nothing else like it. Um, if I had to guess, you mentioned China. China definitely is our nemesis, our rival when it comes to the Olympics, especially with
Yeah.
like you know gymnastics and things like that. Uh, you forget the summer is track and field, and it's those speed guys, the marathon runners and stuff. You look at Jamaica, Kenya, Kenya. There's
Oh
always
yeah.
some crazy Kenyan runner that's like he's running at like
Hmm.
a minute and a half mile for like some crazy thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think countries like you said, large European countries, so like England,
Yeah.
France, Spain, Germany, the big ones, Italy. They're all they all should compete pretty well. So yeah, Olympics starting here soon. That is going to be our final question. It will have to do with the Olympics, and we'll continue to roll on. Our final story of the week is going to be about the NBA draft. We had the NBA draft last night. Was round one. Uh, Round two was this afternoon, so it just ended a couple hours ago.
Hmm.
There are two major stories, and Delaney, I didn't prep you on this because I want your true, unbiased opinion and your immediate thought. Two major stories out of the draft,
Okay.
and the biggest one happened like the last pick of the draft, like three picks before. The Los Angeles Lakers
Hmm.
selected with the I think it was 54th pick, something like that, 53, 54. Mr. Bronny James, LeBron James's son. So LeBron James will
Really?
play this year with his son Bronny James Jr. For the first time ever.
Okay.
A father and a son will play together on an NBA court. There are some
Yeah.
excited people and there are some furious people. We'll start with the
Hmm.
furious people. People are mad because they think that his son isn't an NBA level talent. Like he's a good player, and he obviously
Okay.
is LeBron James' son. He's athletic. He knows the game really well, and he's a good player. But there's a lot of people that think he shouldn't be in the NBA, and he's just there because of his dad. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on this?
I mean, well, first of all, I had no idea his son
He's
was that old,
I I think he's
like
20.
old enough to
He's
be
20 right now.
in the draft. Oh wow, I had no idea. But yeah, it's hard because I've never seen him play. I don't know, but you gotta kind of think, or like, to me, it kind of seems like almost like a pity gift, a pity pick, and maybe the fact that maybe the Lakers have in mind that they are going to pick this man up, and his dad is kind of going to kick his butt a little in practice and make sure he's working extra hard. So maybe they're thinking it to be like a slow burn, like years down the line,
Yeah.
then he will be this great player. But I don't know. My first thought was it's kind of like he like LeBron James has done so much for us. Let's
So you think it's
repay a
like a
little bit.
thank you, like a hey, thanks for what you've done.
I think it, yeah, a little bit, and it's just like I don't know. Maybe they felt like they didn't really
Yeah.
need anyone else, so they just picked him up because they
Yeah, I mean,
could. I don't
you know, a
know.
lot of people are saying there's a lot of good players that you can choose from. To give Bronny credit, he like I said, he is a pretty good player. He is talented. He's athletic. He knows the game really really well. He's been
Hmm.
around the game, you know, from from birth.
His whole
So
life.
I want to agree with you and say it's a daddy ball kind of thing, but I'm not going to say that until the season starts because if he's just riding the bench and
Yeah.
he's kind of like a young kid that's learning and getting better and he works really hard and doesn't get much playing time and all this stuff, all right, cool with me. Let him ride on the team, let him get better, let him turn into
Hmm.
something. But if he's like sucking, like he's like starting, he's not scoring, he's playing terrible, he's just outmatched, yet they continue to roll him out there.
Hmm.
All right, now it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
all right, dad, it's time to be like, hey, your kid's just not that good. It's There's nothing wrong with that. He's a nice kid,
Yeah.
he's smart, he's like I said, he's athletic and talented, and his dad is LeBron James. Like he can do whatever the hell he wants. I had
Yeah.
the similar reaction where I'm like, are they doing this because of dad, or are they doing this because they think he could turn into something?
It sucks because I know my opinion would be completely different if it was literally any other team picked him up. I'd be like, oh, good for him. Like, he's going to learn, he's going to do great. But it's like the fact that
Well,
it's the
that's an
same,
interesting point because there are
you
a lot
know?
of people speculating: is another team gonna pick him to try and entice LeBron to come play for them? Like, is
Oh, wait,
what
that
I
kind of
mean,
sucks.
it's a valid point. If you think about it, you say, hey, if I'm we'll
Hmm.
use the Boston Celtics, who just won the NBA championship. If I'm the Boston Celtics and I pick
Okay.
LeBron James's son, Bronny, I say, hey, Bronny, we want you to, we choose you, and we're gonna. They do all the right things. We're gonna develop you. We're gonna try to turn you into a great player. We think you're great, but we are also gonna try and get your dad to come sign with us. Like where there were a lot of people that thought that.
Yeah.
Bronny has some value, not only himself, but this connection to his dad. Like,
Oh, that makes me sad. I feel like I'm happy that didn't happen actually because like Bronny's so excited he just got drafted and they're like, "Well, we
yeah,
actually brought you here so we could get your dad."
I
Like
mean,
that. Oh, that
yeah,
sucks. So now I'm happy
it
he's with
didn't
the
happen
Lakers, so I
before.
know that won't
Obviously,
happen.
there's not that anymore, but there's a lot of pressure on him. Like that's a lot of pressure on him, and I
Yeah.
I actually really I'm rooting for him. I really am. I want him to do well. I want him to be a great player, and he's got a younger brother who's only 2 or 3 years away, also. So he, like, who knows?
Oh
Maybe
God,
another James will. His younger brother's
a
name is
whole family.
Bryce James, who's taller and bigger and stronger and faster than Bronny is. So maybe you get a whole family starting for the Lakers here soon. But that was the major story coming out of the draft, which is crazy because it's the 54th pick. It was not like that. That's all
Yeah.
anybody can talk about is, oh, Bronny got picked by the Lakers. His dad plays for the Lakers. That's crazy to think about. Like that, LeBron has been in the league for that
Hmm.
long to the point where he has a child and he's gonna play with his son. That's got to be so cool. Like just
Yeah.
like what a good feeling for them. But it's brought a lot of heat towards them. So the other major story out of the draft, unfortunately for you and I, SGCU, Jaden Ledee did not get picked, and then Boise, Max Rice, or any of them got drafted. So they will be, going overseas to play. Maybe they'll play in the G League. I don't know. But
Mhm.
the major story that came out of the draft was the number one and the number two pick were both from France. They were both French players. The
Oh.
number one pick last year, Victor Wembanyama, was also from France. So now there's this concern that
Hmm.
Europe is taking over the NBA. I mean, Nikola Jokic is your MVP the last 2 years. He's from Serbia. Luka Doncic was the playoff MVP. He's from Latvia, something like that. It starts with an L, but he's from Europe. There's a lot of them. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are upset saying, the NBA is turning into this international league. What are your thoughts? I mean, I think the NBA, you're gonna take the best player. Hey, he's the best guy. Sorry, he's
Yeah.
French, but he's the best dude.
Yeah. I think these teams have every right to do that. It doesn't bother me at all that they're getting these players. Um, I think it kind of pushes the Americans a little more. They're like, if you're not good enough, like, we
Oh yeah.
don't care. We will find someone else. So I think it makes it
And
kind of
to add
exciting.
on this, and this is some high level insight with this. I think it's great for American basketball because young kids and young players, they are now watching European players, and European players are so much more fundamentally better than American players. Like the fundamentals,
Hmm.
form, shooting form, dribbling form, passing, defense, things like that. Fundamentals so much better with the European. Americans a lot more
Hmm.
athletic. If you compare Anthony Edwards, our Bronco and the Pig, Mount Rushmore player, you compare him to Luka Doncic. Anthony Edwards is way more gifted, faster,
Mhm.
stronger, can jump higher, more athletic, more just all around more athletic, right? You look at Luka Doncic though, just a better basketball player, better shooter, better passer, can
Yeah.
dribble, understands the game. Uh, it's that's the big comparison, and I think it's good for the like the youth, the American kids. Hey, look, you want to get to the NBA?
Yeah.
Sure, you're fast and strong and can jump high and can dunk and do all these crazy stuff, but if you can't do the fundamentals, they're gonna go pick some European guy who can and is tall.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's a great thing. I honestly have no issue with it. Um, and I'm curious if, well, we've kind of seen it a little bit in football, but I'm curious if like other sports will
Yeah,
start to
yeah. I
pick
mean,
up on
like
it,
you
you
like you
know?
said, football. Baseball is a huge one right now. You get all the Japanese guys. Look at Otani and Suzuki and
Yeah.
Ichiro and uh, the Imanaga guy with the Cubs. All these Japanese guys, and
Hmm.
then obviously in baseball, you get the South American guys, the guys from the Dominican and Cuba and uh, Mexico, and it, the world is the sports in America is expanding, and people have to get used to it. I mean, even soccer
Yeah.
in America. You look at Miami, Lionel Messi, the greatest soccer player probably ever. He's from Argentina. He played freaking 20 years in Europe. There's another example. I mean,
Yeah.
it's expanding and people have to get used to it. Hockey's already done it for years. They bring guys from Canada and Sweden and Russia all the time. Soccer, obviously, you get all the Mexico guys and like the Latin guys that come up and play. And now football. You're playing games in Brazil. You're playing games in London. The game's expanding. Basketball's expanding.
Yeah.
I also think it helps college basketball. You get a lot of foreign college basketball players now that come to America, go to school, play basketball in hopes to get drafted. It's It's great. Sports is great.
Hmm.
I mean, sports international sports is it's so much fun. It brings everyone together, and like I said, the Olympics is the ultimate international stage, in my opinion. All right, Delaney, your matchup of
Yeah.
the week. I think I know what it is, and we hinted on it earlier, but go ahead and expand.
Hmm. So this past week was the College Baseball World Series. And that was the game I watched, and I'm very happy I did. Tennessee did
Yes.
win 6-5 against
Hmm.
Texas A&M. And the biggest thing I want to talk about is, and I feel the same way with basketball and even football, college sports is more fun to watch. I think it's I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's almost like because they aren't as experienced as professionals, you kind of get certain situations that would never happen in a professional league, and it's so much more exciting. Um, and then there was a whole drama with the Texas A&M coach
Yep.
picking the new job. So I'm very happy I watched it, and this was the first year I even had a thought about the College World Series, and I thought it was really good the entire thing. So yeah, I'm very
Yeah,
happy with how it ended
the
too.
College World Series is awesome. It is so much fun to watch, and I have to agree with you. I think one thing, and college baseball is a perfect example if you compare it. Honestly, all college sports is if you compare them to professional sports, it's just more fun to watch because it's more team oriented. I think it takes a team to win.
Mm,
You look at college basketball. There's not. It's not they give it to LeBron James and they say, "Hey, LeBron, go score." Go do something crazy and go score, or Anthony
yeah,
Edwards, or whoever you want to say. College basketball, they pass, they run plays, they you get these guys that are accounting majors that shoot threes from the logo, like in March Madness. Some guys you never heard of, like not even recruited, just draining
yeah,
threes because they got hot. There's just some crazy white dude that got hot. It's college basketball. You take a look at college football, the atmosphere, the students, the loud stadiums, and then the ground game. They
yeah,
do like these crazy plays, these crazy trick plays. They run the option. They don't throw it as much, and it's just more. It's just more fun to watch. For your specific example, the College World Series, especially this year, you look at teams.
yes,
They bunt, they steal, they run crazy plays like squeeze plays, sacrifice squeeze, suicide squeeze. They play great defense. Every out they make, the dugout does some sort of celebration in the dugout, and they're like, they're loving
yeah,
life, and it's like a party because those kids love to just play and be there. They're kids. They're kids playing a game. They're not adults anymore. That's the biggest difference from college and pro.
hmm,
And yeah, I have to agree with you. College sports so much more fun to watch than the professional level, especially at the highest level of college. The college championships, March Madness,
hmm,
and then the College World Series. And a lot of these kids, a lot of these college athletes, they're going to go off into Paris. You get a lot of college tennis players, you get a lot of college wrestlers and swimmers and water polo players and stuff like that. They'll be in the Olympics. They'll be wearing America across their chest, so that's pretty
yeah.
cool. But great team, great matchup. Anything to add on your matchup of the week?
I'm trying to think. Oh, wait, I don't know. I just I just thought this was kind of interesting. So the Texas A&M head coach,
Oh, I
his
saw this.
daughter
Go ahead.
is dating the
Yeah,
Tennessee's
one of the
pitcher,
players.
I believe. Yeah. So she was in the stands and she's like she like was talking about she's like, "Oh, like
Yeah,
at that point what side do you
yeah.
pick?" Like it's kind
No,
of
that's
awkward a little.
that's happened a couple
Or like
times.
even for the
Well,
Tennessee.
not
Oh,
professional, but
really?
like it's happened a couple times where baseball players, like a player by the name of Brandon Crawford. He's a shortstop. He now plays for the Cardinals, but he played for the Giants for a long
Uh-huh.
time. His sister married Garrett Cole, who's a pitcher for the Yankees, and they were playing against each other, and like
Oh,
she was pitching against him, and she was like, where she didn't she they it was like the same thing. She didn't know what side to pick. You know, it's like I got
Yeah. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, imagine, like, this boyfriend goes home for Thanksgiving with his
yeah.
girlfriend, and it's like,
Hey, remember that time we
ooh,
won
like,
the World
do
Cup?
you talk about
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah.
I just
I
thought
can
it
see
was
that
funny.
she got
So,
a lot of hate, got a lot of heat for it. Like that she was, I don't know, she was
why?
wearing. I don't remember what exactly what she was wearing, but there were a bunch of haters or something like that. There's always haters. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's
All right.
yeah.
We'll move on to sport by sport. Sport by sport is going to be relatively quick. We don't have a ton of stuff here. The main thing was the Olympics, and as we get close to the Olympics, we're going to dive deeper into each individual event. So we still have a couple weeks to go, but every week we'll pick a few events and we'll talk about them. There's some crazy ones out there. I'm just gonna say,
Hmm.
like, there's some events that I've never even heard of, didn't even know they do. But for sport by sport, we'll start with the NFL. There was a lot of scrutiny with the Falcons on Michael Penix signing a 4-year contract, a rookie contract, matching Kirk Cousins' contract. So people are like, why do you have two quarterbacks? Like, why are you doing this? That was a big thing. The other one is the San Francisco 49ers. Their wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is slowly becoming a villain. Remember, we talk about having heroes and villains. He's slowly becoming a villain because
Yeah.
he's talking trash on his own team. Like, I get it. You want money and you want a big contract and you want this and that. Dude, be happy you're on a team. Be happy that you're playing. You're not only are you on a team,
Yeah.
you're on a team that made it to the Super Bowl last year. You guys are trying to win a Super Bowl. Let's get it together, huh? Like, why are it just bothers me. But he's becoming a villain. The NBA, we talked about it. The draft was today. More Lakers uh, news is Mr. JJ Redick was hired as the Lakers head coach. He's getting a lot of heat because he's young, he's relatively new, he's never coached before, but he is a 15-year veteran. He played alongside a lot of the players that are on the team. So it's an interesting hire. We'll see how it goes. The Lakers just have a ton of pressure. Like between LeBron's son, and now JJ as the head coach, the Lakers are. I mean, they got a lot of pressure on them. And then the other thing with the NBA, and this is kind of cool, you might like this, Delaney, is McCall Bridges was traded to the New York Knicks. So that means the New York Knicks now have 4 guys that all played together at Villanova and won the national championship in March Madness. So
Mm,
they were teammates at the national on the March Madness winners a
yeah.
couple years ago at Villanova, and now they've all they've intertwined the NBA thing, and now they're all back together with the New York Knicks. So they have four
Oh, that's
guys
fun.
all with the New York Knicks. They're calling them the New York Villanova Knicks. The 4 guys. So that's pretty cool. And then MLB, there's a couple things. We had some suspensions, we had some injuries. Edwin Diaz was suspended for 10 games. Or Elvis Martinez, he was suspended for 80 games. He had he got called up. He's only played in 1 game in his career, and he got suspended for 80 games for drug violation or whatever. Fernando
Yeah.
Tatis, Patrick Sandoval, Starling Marte, Yoshi Yamamoto, and Kyle Tucker all went on the IL. Patrick Sandoval are Halos. The Halos suck, and Patrick Sandoval is now out for the rest of the season. All right, Delaney, your power rankings for the MLB. What stat did you go with this week?
Hmm. I'm I'm excited for this one because I have been looking at the stats this whole season so far. I decided to
Oh,
do it off my opinion and
so
what
this
I
is
have
this
learned.
is a
So that's what I
Delaney
did from
chosen power rankings, not based off statistics.
yeah. I don't know
That's
how
all right.
good it'll be,
Shortcomings are
but
okay.
we'll see. Okay. So 10 we got the Padres, 9 is the Astros, 7 is the Brewers, 6 is the Mets, 5 is the Orioles, 4 is the Phillies. Oh wait, shoot. Oh no, I messed up. I put Orioles twice. So I have Orioles at
Okay.
number 3 spot. Yankees is second, and then
Okay.
number one is the
So
Dodgers.
it's very similar to mine.
Yes.
And you're pretty spot on. I mean, right now, I also have the Padres at number 10. They are getting better. They are this year's comeback kids. They come back every game. They seem to, whatever reason, in the ninth inning is when their offense comes alive. Um, so they're fun to watch. They're number 10. Number 9, I have the young Royals. The Royals are interesting, and I want you.
Hmm.
Your homework for this week is to go watch the Royals play. They had this guy. His name's Bobby Witt Jr. He's electric. He's fast. He can hit for power. He's just really fun to watch. And the Royals are surprising people, and they're going to be good for a long time. 8, I have the Braves. The Braves are hurting. They have a lot of injuries, but they're still very good. They lost their best player for the year, which is going to hurt them. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make a run this year. 7, I have the Mariners. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Mariners have the best starting pitching of any team in the league. They are legit. They are sneaky. A lot of people forget about them, but they are. Seattle's got some stuff cooking up there. They just need to get some offense. Number 6, I do have the Brewers. Similar to you, the Brewers are they're very good. The Brewers could be a team that makes a lot of moves come trade time. So we'll see what happens there. I have the Dodgers all the way down at 5. The Dodgers are injury ridden right now. Everybody's hurt on the Dodgers, so that's why they're so low. Once they get healthy, the Dodgers are by far the best team and the scariest team. But they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. They're still at number 5. Number 4 is the Guardians. The Guardians just swept the Orioles. I do have the Orioles at number
Hmm.
3, but the Guardians are very good, and they are going to be a team that makes some trades and gets some pitching, and they are very dangerous. 3, like I said, the Orioles still young. They need pitching, but their offense is awesome. Gunnar Henderson is awesome. Go O's. Number 2, I have the Phillies. The Phillies are loaded, and they're going to load up even more. They're probably going to go and get some big name. There's a lot of rumors that our Mount Rushmore Mike Trout could get traded to the Phillies. A lot of rumors. And then number 1, the Yankees. The Yankees have the 2 best players in baseball with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Aaron Judge is on pace to tie his home run record from a couple years ago. He's going nuts. He's just
Huh.
I feel like every other post on Instagram is an Aaron Judge highlight of him just hitting a freaking moonshot. He's gonna be awesome to watch in the home run derby. I hope he's in the home run derby. That'd be cool to watch. All right, Delaney, our final question of the week.
Yeah.
As always, we finish every episode with a question. This week's question, and we talked about the Olympics. What is the one Olympic sport that you think you could do today and be okay at?
Hmm. I feel like I really thought gymnastics, but I just don't
Gymnastics is
think
so
that's.
hard. Like it's like sneaky hard.
I know. So I think my answer is gonna be swimming. Actually,
We
I think I could
we are pretty
if
good
I
swimmers. Yeah,
practice,
we
I
are
could
pretty
be
good
pretty
swimmers.
good. Yeah.
Mine is, and I don't know what this is, but it's called this on the Olympic website. It's called trampoline. Okay, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like something I might be able to do. I trampoline. I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what that is. Um, Trampoline maybe. No running stuff. There's no way. Like marathon, anything like
Oh
that.
yeah, there's no way.
Equestrian, no. Fencing, like fencing seems they make it seem easy, but I feel like it's really hard.
Uh huh. Yeah. Oh, Cooper, trampoline is the men's
Oh, that's
gymnastics
not.
thing.
No, I can't.
They like they jump and do
I
all
can't do
the
that.
tricks. Oh, and it's men
Yeah, I
and
can't do that.
women's.
Maybe badminton or diving.
Oh yeah. Or they just
Whoever
had a
could get to
pickleball,
7 feet.
didn't
Well,
they?
I'm not very good at it, but that's okay. I I I, I feel like it's a sport that you could pick up relatively quickly. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say like diving. They have cycling. I feel like I could ride a bike relatively well and fast. Not BMX, not that
Okay.
stuff, but like cycling. Like
Yeah, like the. But is that the one where they have to stay in a line? You know what I'm talking about? There'll be like the one country. There's like 10 of them,
they don't
and they have to
have to,
stay in one straight
but they
line.
do that to make it easy. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I could never.
Uh, yeah, I would say okay. My final answer: either diving, cycling, not trampoline for sure, and
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe canoe sprint. Maybe I don't know. Don't know what canoe sprint is, but like that, get me going. Get me in a stream or
Yeah.
something. I got a chance. All right, all right. What's your final answer? What are you going with? You said maybe swimming.
I'm going with
Okay,
swimming.
fair enough.
Yeah.
We are good swimmers. Oh, and fencing. Fencing is another one that I'm going to throw in there. All right. Like I said, next week we will dive further into the Olympics. We're gonna really focus on specific events. Like we said just now, I there's a lot of sports in here that I have no idea what they are. Trampoline, don't know what that is. Canoe sprinting, don't know what that is. So we're gonna dive deeper into each individual event each week, just a couple here and there. And then baseball is going to continue to roll on. The All Star game is coming up quick, and then we'll have our home run derby as well. So we'll get to talk about that. But as always, you know, go enjoy and watch sports, whatever sport you choose, because there's a lot to choose from right now. Go love sports, and then come back and talk about sports with your favorites, the Bronco and the Pig. Peace.
1, 2.